What is up, cinephiles? Welcome back to Screen Kings and happy Valentine's Day to you, my dear friend. And with that being said, let's talk about some rom-coms. Today's video is about Amazon Prime's I Want You Back, directed by Jason Orley, and in it we have two recently dumped people, Peter played by Charlie Day and Emma played by Jenny Slate. Two people who happen to work on the same building and they bond over each other's experience of getting dumped, and they basically became each other's support system. They christened themselves as the Sadness Sisters. After a couple of hanging outs, being sad about their exes and stalking their social media profiles, they hatched this plan. And I hope this is only something that happens on rom-coms because it's such an evil plan, which is to actively destroy the newfound relationships of their exes. Now, this is a rom-com, so like most rom-coms, it's going to be predictable. Like looking at the trailer, you probably have a strong idea of how it's going to end, on who's ending up with who. I mean, just by looking at the poster, you know what's the story and what's the destination, you know. But as they say, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. So how invested are we going to be on the main and the central relationship in here? This story is written by Isaac Aptaker and Elizabeth Berger, the writers behind Love, Simon, and they also wrote a couple of episodes of the TV show that I watch, which is This Is Us. And I would say that this movie does not really stray away from the conventions of the genre, which is not automatically a deal breaker for me, because when it comes to these types of story, I think it can be formulaic, but that can be the one that produces more of the gratifying results in becoming, you know, a feel-good rom-com. And so this is the type of movie that wears its heart on its sleeve. So if that's too much sweetness for you, don't go seek this movie. But since it's the Valentine season and many people are gonna be looking for this type of content, feel free if you're in the mood. And yeah, it's going to be unapologetic. Couple of genre cliches are abound, so prepare yourself. But the thing is, this movie also has, of course, humor in it, being a rom-com, and I felt like that is the aspect or the side of the rom-coms that are often overlooked these days, because some rom-coms are just so dry and so boring that you want to skip the whole thing and just see how it's going to end up. So I don't feel the urge while watching this, even if the movie clocks for almost 2 hours. And this is just a personal opinion, the best runtime for rom-coms is just 90 minutes. But yeah, this one could have been shortened, or they could revise to make it a little bit funnier. But I would say there are some genuinely funny moments here, not in a laugh out loud manner, but good enough to make me chuckle. Especially in the first part of the movie where it understands how men and women deal with their breakups. So I think it's a funny montage leading to the plan, which is to essentially break up their ex's newfound relationship. And the thing is, the whole plan, it seems like something that a high schooler will conduct. So their behavior throughout the movie sometimes can feel like contrived or forced, because you know, the whole setup to get in there. For example, here Jenny's going to seduce the new boyfriend of Peter's ex. So she goes into the lengths of getting to know this person who happens to be a director of a school play. She doesn't have any relation to the kids involved, but somehow she managed to integrate herself into the school play without any background checks whatsoever. So, you know, little details like that can strain the whole premise of the movie. But you know, that's part of rom-com. Sometimes you have to embrace the bizarre things that's happening and you just have to gloss it over so that you can enjoy the rest of the film. Now, the strength of the movie here is the leads. We have Charlie Day and Jenny Slate. Both are funny characters, effective comedians. I think they're mostly defined by their over-the-top performances, which to some people might find annoying, but I really like them as comedians. I think I find them endearing. They have this somehow husky but also squeaky voices, and they mostly play supporting roles in the film, so it's nice to see them taking on the lead this time. I think the script does justice to their characters in terms of fleshing them out. They're three-dimensional and they're all likable all throughout, despite having this horrible plan of breaking up people. I think that speaks to the innate charisma that these actors have and also they never go into the route of being too sad and mopey that they start to become annoying. And yeah, the chemistry here, they're like more of a slow burn chemistry because initially you perceive them as BFFs, you know, a pair of funny people who's just fun to be around. So I hope the movie really capitalized on their chemistry because I felt like the energy fizzles a bit when they're not together. And I think they needed to have more scenes together because I do enjoy their dynamic here. There are moments where they're helping each other, consoling each other, and we have also this personal growth for these characters because they are going to make them realize what they need in their next relationship and also in pursuing getting more out of their professional career. So that is something that millennials can relate. But instead, for the second act, they're mostly dealing separate storylines, which I felt like the movie bogs down a bit. You know, anyway, the supporting cast here, they're also fine in their roles. We have Scott Eastwood, Gina Rodriguez, Manny Jacinto, and Clark Bacco. The thing that I loved about this movie is no one is portrayed on a negative light. The usual trend when it comes to rom-coms, they're going to paint one of the exes as a douchebag or something, but not in here. The main hurdle or the villain of the story would have to be insecurity and complacency. So that is something that our leads here will have to deal for themselves if they want to grow, you know, as a person and be better partners. Because the movie puts out a reason why they need to break up from Peter and Emma, and I think it's done in a way that's understandable and totally relatable. So all in all, this movie is just a pleasant movie that will leave you just fine. I wouldn't say that this is the feel-good film of the year, but yeah, I like that the ending here, they didn't opt for that grand romantic gesture. It's just the right amount of sweetness. There's also some sort of a wisdom here that's dropped in the end that's done in a nuanced way, which I really like. Something about how our past relationships are not necessarily waste because they help shape who you are and, you know, contribute in finding that one true love or whatever you call that person. So I think that's a progressive way to look at it. So I'm gonna give this movie a 3 out of 5 stars, and for me that's already high enough considering I'm not really a rom-com kind of guy, but I would say this is better than most of the bad Netflix and Hallmark movies that they're putting out lately because they're just relying on basically attractive couples and they think it's enough to carry the story and the chemistry where it's not. So this is not the case for here. But yeah, let me know what you think about this movie if you've seen it. What's the recent rom-com that you've seen? Hit them on the comment sections down below. Also, if you enjoyed watching this video, give this a like and subscribe to me for weekly reviews of movies and TV shows. Thank you so much guys for watching. Until then, I'll see you all on the next one.